You are listening to her in the huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. And I am ready to get into it. I got my boy Marshawn Powers with me. Marshawn, can you hear me, sir?
I can, I can. I was reading something. What's up with you, Rachel?
All
I
right,
feel like I ain't been on in a
good.
few days.
You haven't. We have missed you. We missed your flavor, man. What's going on with you?
Good, man. No, working the main job, the job that pay the bills, been work. That's been trying to taking a little of my time lately, but other than that, I can't miss too many days of her in the huddle. I don't feel myself if I do.
Oh, that's so kind of you. I love it. I love to hear that. We appreciate you, and you're a vital element to what we got going on here up in this huddle. So, man, let's just go ahead and get to it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the Cleveland Browns. Willie, they coming off of this bye week. I know you talked about what some of your expectations are, but now Baker spoke today, and I forgot who else was a lineman that spoke today talking
Hmm.
about that they were really tired. No, it was Austin Hooper, and talking about how they were tired and they've never had a bye week so long. And Coach Stefanski spoke today, so a few people spoke today. But coming out of this bye week, man, do you think that we can beat the Baltimore Ravens, who have been an Achilles heel for us year after year after year, in a lot of games that we should have won against them, we couldn't pull it out.
I think if the Browns were to beat the Baltimore Ravens confidently, I think it would be this week. They just lost a guy who in the last game, pretty much was a pest to a lot of our receivers and Marlon Humphreys. Um, shut down Donovan Peoples Jones, shut down Njoku. Pretty much anything and everything thrown his way, he wasn't having it. So to see him go out with a torn pectoral muscle, which you hate to see a good defender go out like that because in order to see how good you are, you want to go up against top talent. But seeing that he's out, Lamar Jackson isn't playing MVP football. I think if the Browns were to catch Baltimore slipping, it would have to be this week, especially coming off a game against Pittsburgh in which they should have won, but Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. The games that you feel like they will lose, they mess around and win. So I got a strong confidence in the Browns this week. I think, if we stick to who we are identity wise and add on with the pass game, hopefully that Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff and the players, kind of figured out what went wrong and worked on that, and what went right and worked on that. I think they'll be fine this week. I think the Browns will win this week against Baltimore Ravens.
I think so too. And if anything, this type is right for the picking. As you mentioned, Lamar threw some more interceptions again. He wasn't looking like Lamar. So, that is going to play a key role. But he's always been able to beat us with his legs. He's always been able to extend plays, and he's always been able to throw people open. And those are some of the things that struggle. And that connection he has with Mark Andrews is just, it's just always been a killer for us. He always managed them to find him out of nowhere, or maybe that's just our bad coverage. But I think that, right now the time is right for the picking, and they're coming off, well, they're coming off a loss against Pittsburgh. I do feel as if they should have won that game too. I wasn't a fan. I know everybody's talking about, he should have went for two, but I wasn't a fan of it. I do believe in playing to win, but I don't think he should have went for two. I felt like he should have went for the one and got the tie no matter what, and went into overtime, and they might have been able to pull it out. But they lost in the worst fashion. So whether or not that's inspiration for them, I don't know. But I felt like Marlon Humphreys being one of the leaders on the defense, that defense won't play as well, and we all know what happened to their offense. How there was their running backs were decimated. So this is a team. I think they had 22 people on IR.
Marlon Humphreys may be the 21st, I believe. I think it was 20. Going into the game Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, it was 20. And Humphreys going out would be the 21st. So, I mean, hey, no. I mean, this is like Rachel. This is a game that the Browns have to take advantage of. You said Lamar Jackson gives us fits on the ground, but the Browns drafted a guy who played, in my opinion, his best game as a rookie, in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think with him being on the field and watching the last game and how he was just moving, side to side so quickly, him and Micah Parsons are the only two rookie linebackers that I've seen that's able to move sideline to sideline so easily and be able to track down, the quarterback or the receiver. So I feel like if the Browns, kind of move Jeremiah or JOK around a little bit, sometimes have him as a spy, and then maybe sometimes because I think Owusu-Koramoah is like a hybrid kind of player. They
Yeah.
they name him as a linebacker, but I think he got safety tendencies with him, within him. So I feel like if you put him on Mark Andrews sometimes, and then sometimes have him run a spy on Lamar, make him earn that rookie contract. I think he's going to be very useful on Sunday. But if the Browns if I was the Browns, there was a guy today that got cut from the Texans, Zach Cunningham. I think the Browns, if they don't feel comfortable enough with their linebacker room, I think they should go out and maybe test the water, see if Zach Cunningham fits what's going on here in Cleveland, and see how that works.
Yeah. Did you hear that JOK was drafted for Lamar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was everybody. I mean, since the fact that they drafted him, I've heard people that's close to the team like Nathan Zagura and all those other guys talk about how that he was drafted to like pretty much be the Lamar stopper. I don't think you could stop Lamar, but I think that JOK,
Slow him down.
just seeing how he was Sunday. I mean, that man was. I don't think he ever came off the field. And if I mean, I didn't watch the first half of the game. I watched the second half, but Jim, every play, Jim Donovan, you would just hear him say Owusu-Koramoah is in there on the play. So, I mean, I think that he was definitely brought here to stop the guys of the. He didn't get it. He didn't have a good game against Kyler, but those dual threat quarterbacks, the Lamar Jacksons, the Kyler Murrays, whenever Deshaun Watson plays next year, him, Russell Wilson, I think those guys are the type of guys that Owusu-Koramoah was brought in to actually spy and be able to stop or slow down.
And tell me, do you think that this defense will be able to put in the same type of performance that they put in just a week ago?
I believe so. They had a week off, so they was able to rest up a little bit. I think Jadeveon Clowney might have had his best game as a Brown. So if you're getting a game like that, and then he went and got some rest after that, then I think Owusu-Koramoah. I mean, not Owusu. I think Jadeveon is going to have a breakout game. Miles is Miles. Miles is the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. You don't have too much to worry about that. And I feel like our secondary is, stepping up. We have four picks four picks within the secondary, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, four picks within the secondary, last game. So, I mean, the defense is not the issue. I think, Joe Woods heard enough of, us fans complaining, and he stepped
Yeah.
up and did what he was supposed to do as a coach and got his players right, and the players also stepped up and
What are
did
you
what
talking
they're
about? They
supposed to
don't. They
do.
don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to. They ain't on social media. They don't listen to none
Yeah,
of that. What are
okay.
you talking about?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. If they don't listen to the fans in Cleveland, Ohio, then okay.
I was being
Jabril Pepper, you
sarcastic.
remember? I know. You remember? This is how I know the Browns listen to the fans. You remember a few years ago when Jabril Peppers got into it with a fan downtown at CVS? That's how
Oh
you. That
yeah.
tells me. That tells me that these players listen to fans. Baker. If players don't listen to fans, then Baker and Emily wouldn't have a social media. They wouldn't be on social media every Sunday. So ain't nobody.
Wait, what happened in the CVS again?
I think a player, if I'm not mistaken, Jabril Peppers was at CVS purchasing something, and a fan told him like something like you need to get better or you need to be better or something like that. Which I don't know. That fan had to be crazy to walk up to somebody
And they're playing
who
the NFL.
who hits people, who gets paid to hit and literally, I mean, figuratively kill people for fun. So I think that fan was kind of crazy, but it rubbed Jabril the wrong way, and Jabril didn't like that, and he was gone not too long after that. So no, I mean, if they don't listen to fans, then Jabril would still be here. Baker and his wife wouldn't be throwing subliminal shots at the fans on social media and so on and so forth with other players. So nah, I can't agree with that one right there. Them players. I tell you this, Rachel. The players listen to the fans more than the fans. I mean, than the fans listen to. I mean, the players listen to the fans more than the fans listen to the players. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We don't be caring about nothing they talking about. Like Mac Wilson say, nobody's safe. We don't pay attention to that. But as soon as you talk about how Mac got a bad game, I'm pretty sure he probably see.
Just the entitlement and privilege you have that you feel like you can walk up to Jabril Peppers in a public area and, I mean,
Well, I mean, you want to know what the entitlement is, Rachel? Be honest, and I blame this on. I could consider us the media now. We're part of this. We put that notion out there that the fans paid the fans pay the player's salary. So because the fans feel like they pay the players' salaries, they feel like they, in a sense, own the players. So they feel like that they can just walk up and say anything and do anything. And when in actuality, us fans pay what, 0.0001% of that
we
$2 million that
we
they
pay for the
getting.
facilities they play in. That's what we pay for through the syntax.
Yeah,
So we pay for where they play, but we don't pay them.
yeah. If they want to take a little bit more, and I know I'm jumping around, but if they want to take a little bit more syntax out there to build a dome, I'm all for it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
It's too cold.
which
It's
they
way too
went
cold
ahead
now.
and. What are you expecting out of Baker Mayfield coming back? Supposedly he's all healed up and hurt because I'm expecting a
Mm,
Baker that's going to be accurate, or am I, hoping for too much? Because they're saying
I don't
he's
know.
attributing to his accuracy being because of the injuries. So can we believe
Uh,
him to be accurate in this game? And because these are do or die games, you lose,
yeah,
your season is over. This is a must win
yeah.
game. Every win is a must game win from here on out. Every game.
What can we expect? Sorry, what can we expect from Baker Mayfield? I don't know. I honestly don't know. On one hand, you got people using the injury excuse like it's a Pokemon card. And on the other hand, you got the front office coming out here and saying that, players are okay and that players are good enough to play. So I honestly don't know. I know if I had to, if you asked me right now to put a bet down on how many yards, how many touchdowns Baker Mayfield would throw on Sunday, I am going to say I ain't gonna disrespect Baker. I'm gonna say
Remember, throwing
250
touchdowns
yards.
ain't been his jam.
I'm gonna say 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's what I'm looking at. What Baker gonna do on Sunday?
That's only 21 points. You
Probably about
think we're gonna need more to beat
65 to
Baltimore?
69%. Huh?
I said that's only 3 touchdowns. You think we're gonna need more than that to beat Baltimore?
I mean, well, that's just through the air. I mean, Stefanski is head over heels with the run game. So, I mean, now I didn't even count in Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt or Dearness and what they could possibly do. But I think Baker himself will do probably 2 to 3 touchdowns and Dearness. So, oh my God, we got breaking news. Oh, I am excited.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. Ohio has officially legalized sports betting.
Oh, you
Let's
know about
go.
that? They've been talking about that
Let's
all day today.
go. I have not known. I've been at work. I ain't got to drive to Pennsylvania. I ain't got to drive to Pennsylvania to go on betmgm.com. I'm sorry, that just kind of made me
You was
excited.
really
But
doing that?
yeah, I would drive to the PA border and right there by Erie and put a bet in and come back. It's only about an hour.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I did not
make
want you
some.
betting like that you crossing
Yeah,
state lines to go bet.
yeah, man, make some money. Put a couple dollars down, but I ain't got to do that no more. I can do it. sitting in the living room, bet the over under, handicapping and stuff like that. But man, now I wish that we had sports betting here. Like it was actually good now. That way I could probably throw about $10, $15 down on Baker Mayfield on the over or whatever his passing yard is going to be for the week. Because I definitely think that with the injuries to Baltimore's secondary, I think now is the time that we see, Baker light it up. I mean, and it's just for this week. I'm not going into. We play Vegas after that. I'm not going into Vegas and he gonna do it. I'm taking it week by week with Baker Mayfield because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself to where he has a bad game, and then I'm looking at it like, okay, here we go again. So I'm just taking it game by game. I still am sticking with my prediction that the Browns are going to go 8-3 over the last 11, so they're going to run the board. They're going to go 5-0 out this season, but I mean, in order for that to happen, we need a solid game from number 6, and I think we'll get it.
All right, we're going to take a break right quick, okay? You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We will be right back.
Recognized as being COVID related. The impact on patients' health can range from mild to totally debilitating. After the initial COVID infection, there are several symptoms that may indicate long-haul COVID or COVID-19 syndrome. These symptoms are shortness of breath, coughing and fever, fatigue and exhaustion, brain fog, atypical chest pain and palpitations, behavioral health issues like depression and anxiety, difficulties with cognition and memory, insomnia and other sleep problems, generalized pain and muscle aches, joint pain and impaired mobility, persistent loss of smell and taste, headaches, diarrhea, skin rashes. To receive more information on post-COVID or long-haul syndrome, visit WOVU.org. Click on the banner at the top of the page and complete a brief survey. This message is brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. Remember, you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can listen to us online at WOVU.org, and you can always download that WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go and listen to your favorite personalities like myself and Marshawn. And so Marshawn just gave breaking news that they have announced that sports betting is coming to Ohio. I'm not really a gambler because I don't really like losing money. So I'm like,
you can't lose money. Rachel, if you know what you're doing, you'll never lose money.
Well, I don't know what I'm
I ain't
doing.
gonna say never. I ain't gonna never say never. They always say never say never, but all you gotta do is learn, man. It's not hard. You gotta risk it to get the biscuit, man. You gotta risk it to get the biscuit.
I'm a Capricorn. Haven't you heard about us with money?
We tight, but you gotta risk it to get the biscuit.
Nah, man, I'm good. I never win. So, but yeah, so we were talking about some of the expectations that we had for the Browns. Can you expect that, this offense can finally get it together? Well, it's not an expectation. It's they have to. They don't have a choice. They have to win. They could still possibly make the playoffs with losing to Green Bay because every game that they have left is a possibility that they can win, a high probability that they can win. Minus Green Bay. They can beat Green Bay too, but I don't know what type of I don't know if they're ready for Aaron Rodgers yet, that defense. But yeah, so those games are absolutely winnable games. And what can this offense do? They have to be in sync, because just putting up less than 17 points in your last 6 games is just unfathomable from a professional football team. So what do you think that this offense might have worked on during the bye week?
Probably. I mean, what did they work on? Probably, if I can say, I think probably they worked on the things that they do well, tried to master those, and then the things that they probably don't do well, probably remove them. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm thinking like Kevin Stefanski, what I mean, if certain pass plays don't work, okay, let's ditch those and figure out which ones that work to the strength of not only Baker Mayfield but Hollywood Higgins, DPJ, um, Austin Hooper, and Harrison Bryant. Seeing that Njoku is out right now, so I can't really add him into it. But I think they probably went over the things that the strong suits and figured out how to make those even stronger within the run game, and how to make the pass game stronger, and communication standpoint, running the wrong route, not being
False
able to.
starts.
Yeah, definitely. I ain't even got to that. I know if they haven't worked on those, then I mean we're never gonna win another game. Because that's self-inflicted wounds right there. I call those. You remember the movie You remember 8 Mile? Remember the movie 8 Mile? Remember
It's
Cheddar
been a
Bob?
minute since I've seen it.
Remember when Cheddar Bob
Vaguely.
shot himself in the foot?
Vaguely.
Oh
It's
man,
been
they
some
be on some
years since
cheddar.
I've seen
They
that.
they got to get rid of those. They got to get rid of those. I call them the Cheddar Bob plays, where you self-inflicted wounds, self-inflicted shots to the foot. So I think if they worked on those, worked on your pass. I mean your pass plays. What plays work? What plays don't? How to be right on communication. I think in
How
my
to get
opinion,
open.
those only thing. Yeah, how to. Well, I don't think you can work on how to get. I don't think you can teach players on how to get open. I think they just have to get open. I mean, Hollywood Higgins, DPJ, Jarvis just got to figure out a way to get open. That's period, point blank.
I
We
mean, I
got a
feel
couple
like.
of comments on here. One
Can
second.
you read them, please?
My guy George, what's going on, George? I hope you're doing good during this holiday. My guy George said it's all about scheme, and that's how the Browns can win on Sunday. And then Damian Hernandez said, "Please beat Green Bay." So I'm hoping to knock off Green Bay. I done got to the point where I don't really ask for too much on Christmas, but that would be the perfect Christmas gift to
I
knock
think
off Aaron Rodgers and
a lot of Clevelanders will be rooting for that. They'll be voting that for
yeah.
Christmas.
I wonder, man, that's crazy. I know. I wonder what Cleveland fans are actually gonna watch on Christmas. Are they gonna watch NBA, or actually they're gonna watch the Browns?
Cleveland fans, they watching the Browns.
I don't know, man. I kind of LA versus Brooklyn,
We don't
Browns
got no.
versus
We don't got
LA.
no. For basketball, we don't got no dog in the race. I mean, they'll probably watch the
Yeah.
games around the Browns game, but you better believe that during that time they watching the Browns Green Bay, and then they'll go back to watching basketball. But they don't got no horse in that race. So I mean, I don't really care as much since the Cavs ain't playing on Christmas Day. But maybe one day they can go back to doing that. But yeah, that's what time that game come on. Do you know? The Brooklyn.
Which one? The Lakers.
Brooklyn and yeah.
Give me one second.
Because it all depends.
Because the Browns is an 8 o'clock game, right? Oh man,
I don't know. That might be a 4:25 start. I think. I think.
Oh, it's a
4:25.
All right, cool. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Browns and Packers play at 4:30. Nets and Lakers play at 8 o'clock. So that's pretty good.
Almost perfect timing.
Yeah, you get to watch the Browns. Browns got you amped up, and then my guy KD come on right after that. So that'll be a great Christmas gift right there.
Man, forget KD.
So what's your prediction for Sunday, Rachel? What you got? What's your score prediction for the Browns? How much are we going? How much are we gonna win by? I think if I'm not mistaken, we're favored by
By two
not
and a
much.
half, 2.5.
2.5.
Yep, you get 3
Okay,
points for
so that
being a home team.
means all right. So 2.5. So what's your prediction?
I feel like it's either going to be a close game like we had the last time, or it's going to be a shootout. But we're not capable of getting into a shootout. A shootout and winning, because the game against the Chargers and the games against the Chiefs were shootouts, and we weren't able to win, especially when we had the ball in the final possession to come back from behind and win those games. So I feel like this will be another low scoring game, hopefully. As much as I love Lamar, he'll turn in another disastrous performance. We'll be able to pick him off a few times. Did you see his interview after the Browns game?
Yeah, I like it. I
I
actually
love
wanted to.
him.
Yeah, because here's it, and I hate to compare. I don't really like to compare anymore. But here's the thing. That's what I wanted to hear from Baker. When Baker, when what game was that? Was that the Lions when he played terribly and he left the field and went
There's
home?
been a few
You
games
know,
he's played
I
terribly.
I felt like if Baker would have got in front of the media and say, "Man, I played terrible, but my defense saved me," fans would have been like, "All right, that's cool." But the fact that you didn't do that and you got a guy like Lamar doing that, that tells you MVP guy who hasn't even made a Pro Bowl yet. That right there is like splitting hairs right there, which shows me, all right, this is the face of the franchise, MVP, typical guy who could potentially be the face of the NFL versus the guy who's the face of progressive. Like that's as good
Yeah.
as it's gonna get with Baker.
She was like, "How you doing?" He was like, "I'm mad. I didn't play good." He was like, "I got to tighten up. I got to tighten up." I just love
Yeah,
that post game interview where you could see he was seriously steaming because he didn't play well. They still won the game, but he knew that he played terrible, and he mentioned his interceptions
yeah.
too. And I just loved it. He's a true competitor, even though they won the game. So I think that this will be another close game. If they put 9 in the box, what you doing as far as your running game? How are you counteracting that? If Baltimore stuffed that
Mm,
box to prevent the run, because that's what they was doing the last time
well,
with 8,
we're
9
gonna have
people at
to
a time.
air it out. You have to change it up and air it out. Make them respect you. Like Marlon Humphrey said 2 weeks ago. We put 8, 9 in the box to stop the run to make the passing game beat us. Basically saying that they didn't respect Baker, and Baker got to beat them. So if they repeat the same game plan that's from 2 weeks ago, that's showing that they don't respect you and that they want you to beat them. They don't want the run game to beat them. The run game beat them with Freddie Kitchens. The run game beat them. Well, we didn't beat them last year at all, but last time we did beat them was with Freddie Kitchens and Nick Chubb almost had 200 yards rushing. So, if Baker can show up and beat them, what about 250, 275, 300 yards passing, then I mean, I'll let off on him. I'll let off on him.
I absolutely am using the same game plan because I know Baker is gimped right now and can barely pass the ball. So I'm absolutely gonna do the same thing I did the last time. I'm gonna do everything the same way until you don't surpass it. I would tell kids in lacrosse when it comes to shooting on goal, put it in the same place every time until they stop it. So I'm gonna do the same thing until you stop it. And they know Baker can't beat them with his arm right now. So I doubt, they really care about that and they don't respect him. They see he's not accurate, he's, going to miss receivers and stuff like that. So I don't think, Baker has anything that wows Baltimore. And I think they're going to use the same, plays again. And I also think that they're going to pressure him. Baker has shown when you pressure him, you get to him and you fluster him. So, that pressure that they're going to be bringing a couple blitz, and who knows what's going to happen when they do that. So, yeah, if I was them, I'm using the same game plan that I used to beat you the last time. That's what I would do if I was Harbaugh. And I'd try to take away that run.
I mean,
And that's been very effective.
and then if that's the case, then I don't think Baltimore's gonna win because You know, you can't use the same game plan on somebody and think that they want to change. They want to adjust to that. You know, and if the Browns are smart, you're watching the tape from your game, from Pittsburgh, and you know how to counter those things that they may have done in the Pittsburgh game that they did in your game, or just things that they did in your game that you feel like, you know, that you might see again. You already got a way to counter it. I don't see them shutting down the run again in this game. And if Stefanski is smart, I'm using a three-headed monster. You know, I'm not just trying to force feed Chubb when you got Dearness and you got Nick Chubb. I'm throwing different bodies at them, different looks. You know, one thing I like about what Georgia did, Georgia used the three running back committee. So you didn't actually know who was coming in. You know, so I mean, yeah, Chubb is the lead back. But if you bring Dearness in, who reminds me a lot like Alvin Kamara, and you bring Hunt in, who's a physical downhill runner, you know, it's gonna wear Baltimore down and eventually open up the pass for Baker Mayfield to get those easy touchdowns to Hooper, Jarvis, DPJ, and Hollywood.
Did you mention Georgia, who got smacked by Alabama?
Oh yeah, I really picked Alabama to get smacked. I mean, that wasn't no surprise to me at all.
Okay, because I'm like, you
If
mentioned
Ohio State
Georgia.
would play Georgia, they would smack them.
You said that if Ohio State played Georgia, they beat Georgia.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Now we
Mhm.
playing Utah, so we playing the Pac-10, Pac-12 team, so we don't get our chances against the
Which
SEC.
I feel bad.
So you.
Which I feel bad for Utah, but we'll talk about that as it get closer. I feel bad for Utah.
All right, we gotta take another break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
The United States could soon have a pill to treat COVID-19. The pharmaceutical company Merck has requested approval from the Food and Drug Administration to begin distributing a COVID-19 pill. This comes after Merck and Ridgeback recently conducted a study with the oral antiviral molnupiravir. It showed the risk of hospitalization and death cut by half in a trial involving patients with mild to moderate COVID-19. While this is big news, the pill will not come cheap here. It could cost up to $700 in the United States, but as low as $20 in other countries. Some may even distribute the pill for free. It's worth investigating alternatives to vaccinations, as well as discussing their pros and cons, which includes costs. Learn more about the COVID-19 pill at the Long Haul Kickoff event on Saturday, November 27th. This is WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back. You are in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Mr. Marshawn Powers, who is happy that gambling is now going to be taking place in Ohio. He don't mind losing money. I do mind losing money. I am not with that at all, but I digress. So what else we got on deck for today? You said you wanted to talk about OSU
Ohio
hires.
State got a they got a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and what do you? So Oklahoma State DC Jim Knowles. So what do you know about Jim Knowles? Because I don't know anything about him. Is this guy
Mm-hmm.
good or not? Can we become
Well,
the silver bullets again?
this guy has Oklahoma State right now as the third best defense in all of the country. You know, he runs a lot of four-man front, sometimes a lot of three-man front. You know, the linebackers typically are really, really good under him. A lot of his corners play man. So I'm excited to see what he does. You know, a lot of the feedback that I've got out of the Buckeyes camp is that, you know, he's really good, but, you know, he's not coming until January 2nd. So, I'm curious to see who is the people that's leaving. I mean, Ohio State try to be professional, keep things on the hush hush, but that's the thing. Who is he bringing with him? Who is he keeping on his defensive staff? Who's leaving? I'm excited, man. I'm all for a change. Ryan Day personally made this move, so that tells me that Ryan Day knows what he's doing. This is kind of a move Urban Meyer made a few years ago with the offense when the offense wasn't really doing any good, and he got rid of, you know, Air Warner, and I can't think of the other guy's name. And that's when he brought in Ryan Day, and he brought in Kevin Wilson. So I mean, this kind of reminds me of when Urban, got shut out by Clemson, and he had to do an overhaul on coaching for his players, and I think it'll be fine. I think Ohio State is going to be okay. I mean, I think they got a young team. This was the youngest team Ohio State has had in so long, and they got to be coached right. So I mean, Ryan Day kind of felt like that the guys he had wasn't coaching them right, and I think this guy is. You got Oklahoma State in the Big 12 looking good. I know you could come. I call that's baby OSU. You come in a big OSU, Big Daddy OSU. I think he's up for the task.
So I didn't even know Kerry Combs. Was he fired?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, just demoted then. Because I didn't even hear about that.
Well, everything is still up in the air with Kerry Combs. No, I haven't heard anything about him leaving just yet. I think maybe they're trying to one or two things. They're either trying to be respectable because of his resume and probably letting him go out and search for a job on his own, or they're probably trying to see where he fits in with this guy, his defense and stuff like that. Because I think Kerry Combs is a very good motivator. Him and the strength coach Mickey Mariotti, I think they're both very, very instrumental to Ohio State coaching staff. Because they bring that energy for the players. But I don't know. What's going on as far as what they're going to do with them. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain on what's going on with Kerry Combs.
Oh, I never did was I supposed to get my score prediction? Because I didn't give it for Sunday. Okay. Man. So if it's not a shootout and they are close, I'm going to go with 20-17 Browns. And then if it is a shootout, I'm going to go 38. Is that a shootout score?
I would say
do
so.
I need more? 38-35. It's going to be within 3, I think.
Okay.
No matter whatever end.
I think it'll be a low. I think it'll be a low scoring game. I'm gonna go 17-14 Browns. I think it'll be. The weather is gonna be somewhere around. Give me a second. It's going to
be in the 40s.
It'd be nice if this weather pulled up. So if it's gonna be in the 40s, then it'll be good weather. But if it's anything like it was 2 days ago, what we saw with Buffalo, it's definitely gonna be a low scoring game. All right, so it's gonna be 42 degrees and sunny on Sunday. So I'm gonna say it'll be yeah, I'm gonna check this. I'll go with 27-21 Browns. Well, 27-21.
Okay. All right. So, all right, we both got the Browns to win. They have to win. They don't have no choice but to win from here on out. So, those are with us. So, did you think that the Ohio State needed to do anything on the offensive side of the ball, or just defense?
I think because of the fact that Ryan Day reminds me of Kevin Stefanski. No, they don't have no. I'm not gonna say they don't have no care for the offense, but I mean for the defense, but the offense is like their baby. So I don't think so. I think if something was to be needed from the offense, it would kind of have to be catastrophic, and it would fall back on Ryan Day. So I don't think so. Unless like you got a guy like Brian Hartline leaving or Corey Dennis leaving, then you may have to do something. But no, or Tony Alford. But right now, no, I don't think they really have to do anything offensively.
I was just about to ask you, what do you think about Quinn Ewers entering the transfer portal? I knew it was gonna happen.
Uh,
I knew he wasn't gonna wait. He wasn't gonna bide his time and wait. I knew it.
Yeah, I'll say two things about it. One thing I don't respect, and I mean I heard it through the grapevine, through some good intel, is that he waited till his quarterback Corey Dennis, Urban Meyer's son-in-law. Corey Dennis is the quarterback coach. He's married to Urban Meyer's daughter. So they were actually 12 hours post having a kid. So he's at the hospital. And one thing about people when they transfer, coaches work around the clock to try to convince them to stay. And the timing that he did it to say, oh, well, he's not going to have time. He's having the baby. I'm up out of here. I don't respect that, but hey, I mean, at the end of the day, from what it looked like, he had in his NIL contract that he needed a certain amount of starts to get paid. And from what I'm understanding, he went to Ryan Day with an ultimatum like, hey, I need such and such starts to get my NIL. Ryan Day looked at him like, you're crazy. I got a Heisman award winning, which I'm not going to lie. I thought that either CJ Stroud could win the Heisman, win a Natty, and there still be a competition. But, I mean, I've been proven wrong. Ryan Day is sticking with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's the best. He has the best arm for a quarterback in college football right now. So I don't feel like there's no need to move on from him. So, I tell you this, I don't see him going to anything like a Texas A&M or Texas, strictly because he would be in the same situation as he in right now, where you got to compete for your job. So I see him going to like a TCU, Texas Tech, SMU, something of that nature, where he don't have no competition. You don't have to worry about nobody being in front of him, getting in the way of him starting and going from that. I think this was all NIL driven. Man, I now it makes it seem like, he only went to Ohio State because that was the fastest way for him to get an NIL deal. So best of luck to him. Hey, I don't have no bad blood to him. He wasn't meant to be a Buckeye. It is what it is. I don't really care too much about it. Hey, best of luck to you, but it won't be with the Buckeyes.
So you think he just used us?
I ain't gonna say he used the Ohio State. I think he used the NIL, and Ohio State was just so happened to be a part of that. You see a lot of guys that came to that's using the NIL to come early. He wasn't the only one that transferred. I mean, you got to remember, Ohio State had a 4 quarterback room. There was no way for all of those guys to be able to get snaps, grow. No, somebody was gonna leave. I wasn't shocked that Jack Miller left. I thought Kyle McCord would probably leave, but no. I mean, that's what happens when you got 4 solid guys with only one football. So, I mean, it is what it is, Good rest of luck to him. Ohio State is going to be fine. They actually went out and actually got a guy who I'm very intrigued about. His name's Devin Brown. They brought in a recruit from Utah. I think he played a little bit in California. He's been coached by some NFL guys. He's 6'3". He's a dual sport athlete. He's a basketball player as well. Got a nice little jumper on him. So, I mean, you got 3 quarterbacks in the room now. So, I mean, there's no competition in CJ Stroud's room for at least another year if he decides to lead next year. And they'll decide who's the quarterback of the future after that. I don't think Jack Miller or Quinn Ewers wanted to sit another year. I don't see how it benefited them by sitting another year.
Okay, makes sense. All right. Well, we're going to take our last break right quick. Time flies when you're having a good time. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Yeah, no offense, but what were we just listening to?
Oh, just something my previous writer wanted to hear. Want something else?
Yeah, actually, for sure. Can you switch that station to 95.9 FM, please?
Yeah, for sure. What kind of station is this?
What? You're not hit to 95.9 FM? BBC Community Radio? They have so many good shows. Whether it's a talk show, music show, it's so much good information on this station.
Yeah, I'll have to keep the dial right here then, since I drive so many different walks of life every day.
I literally listen every day and find out something new. Whether it's something for myself, my community, or just something special that's going on in the city.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep it locked right here on WOVU 95.9 FM.
Good, because I'm sure you and all your other writers would love this station just as much as I do.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. And this is your girl, Rachel Hill, with Mr. Marshawn Powers. And we were just discussing some Cleveland Browns and some Ohio State Buckeyes, got a new coach. And now we are going to get to these Cleveland Cavaliers who are kicking butt and taking names. Tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls are coming in on a 4-game win streak. And I really think that this team can knock off the Chicago Bulls, Marshawn. The way that they're playing right now, even with the losses, they're still in these games. So they lost to Utah. Lost by Utah at one point. I wasn't even mad about that. Then they played the world champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis went off. I wasn't even, really mad about that loss. They stayed in the game. They kept on going through runs. They just couldn't pull it out. But you see this team engaged. You see them, they're exciting. They're playing for one another. And, even when they lose, I still feel as if they won because this team is a watchable team now. The past few seasons they have been unwatchable, but this team is playing for each other. You're seeing some great basketball. You're seeing the maturation of Darius Garland. You see Kevin Love getting out there. You see Ricky Rubio doing great. Evan Mobley. It's just, it's very exciting right now. So what are your thoughts about the Cavs and those 2 losses that they just had?
Well, first thing I said, remember I texted y'all, I said that, this is going to be a good test for the Cavs to see where they are as far as how far are they as far as with contending teams, Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee, Miami, Chicago, so far they haven't, figured out how to score from a guard standpoint without Colin Sexton. They're too dependable upon Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio from a guard standpoint. I really want to see a little bit more from Isaac Okoro. It's crazy how, the big man, 7-footers are carrying this squad. I love what I'm seeing. I have to agree with you that this team is very, very watchable. But they got a little bit more to grow. I still believe that they need another wing. I would like for them to, go out and make a phone call, Kobe, and see, what Indiana is actually wanting for Karis LeVert. I think if you add Karis to this team, I think, Karis and Jared Allen have played together. They actually have a really good relationship. So I think Jared Allen will be on board with Karis LeVert coming to the Cavs. So if you add a piece like that, then that'll definitely put the Cavs right in position where they need to be. Because right now, I still feel like they're too dependent upon Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio being your guards as far as scoring wise. And we all know the NBA is right now is a guard-driven league. You need guards, and right now they don't have that many. So, I'm excited to see what they're going to do tonight against Chicago. Chicago don't have, their leading scorer DeMar DeRozan, but they still got Lonzo. They still got Zach LaVine. They still got Vucevic. So I'm excited to see another test tonight.
They
Against a
got
team
somebody
that's
out
really
too.
really good.
Who they got?
Kobe Kobe.
Caruso.
Yeah, I think Caruso is out too. So
Yeah.
again, this is one of those games where I feel like, if you're the Cavs, you're facing a team that is beat up um with with injuries. You have to take advantage of those games because you're not going to get too many more games where a lot of the top players on the best teams are out with injuries unless it's
Mm-hmm.
COVID. So you got to take advantage of this game, man. I honestly don't know. I was actually talking to my homegirl earlier from Chicago about who could possibly win this game, and she didn't feel comfortable saying Chicago, but she also said that Chicago isn't bad to where they could lose to a team like Cleveland, even though they're good. They still got some pieces around them to get it. So I don't know. I don't know. I believe that the Cavs can get this done. My guy Damian Hernandez said, "Bull Nation, baby, let's go." If the Cavs was to lose tonight, I wouldn't be surprised because, again, Zach LaVine, in my opinion, is the best player on either team that's on the floor. And normally the best player on the floor, always wins, like Giannis, Donovan Mitchell. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Cavs come off this losing streak and get it done. But it'll be probably a slim win, or if they lose, it'll be kind of similar to the Utah game where they're not gonna lose by much.
D. Mitch was killing us, man.
And I mean, only thing you really got from Okoro is defense. You need something else from Okoro outside defense. Because I'm not trying to put no bad juju on Darius Garland, but his first 3 years he hasn't shown that he could stay healthy. So he's healthy now, but if he goes down, if Evan Mobley goes down, then the team is screwed. And that's where I try to tell my guy DJ Chris Styles. I hope he's listening somewhere that the Cavs are good, but they're too dependent on their star players. There's a difference between good teams good teams and then star-driven teams. The star-driven teams got those two stars, they're good, but once they go out, the team sucks. But if you got a solid team that has stars on them, it doesn't matter if they go down or not. Like Memphis got a good team, even though Ja Morant is the star player on that team. He went down and they blew Oklahoma City back out to Seattle to turn them back into the Supersonics. So I think the Cavs still got a few more tweaks on the roster to make them a complete team, and when they do, watch out because some of these teams that are good now are only good because they went out and invested in older players who are on borrowed time. Once those players get out, it's the Cavs' time to shine, but they're not going to be able to shine unless they have a complete roster.
So you definitely feel like they should pursue Karis LeVert. You think he's that person that would fit into this offense?
Yeah, I think so because you just slide him in at either wing, at the 2 or the 3. If they don't want to go after Karis, TJ Warren would be another good guy. I'm still always high on wanting Brandon Ingram. I really think Brandon Ingram would be great in with this team because he's another ball handler. He's long. He's 6'9". He could defend. Him next to Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. It's like, how do you even get to the hole? How do you even find your way to the paint? Because all of those guys are long and they can block. But no, I think they need to go ahead and figure out not a star, not a superstar, finding an all-star, some type of star to add on to this good thing that they got going on with the young core of Mobley, Allen, and Garland.
Isaac Okoro needs to step up his offense because right now defense is great, but I need him to do something offensively.
Yeah, I thought, at the end of last year when they gave him the green light, when they really had nothing to win, they had nothing to play for. They kind of just, unleashed him. He had a couple 30-point games, so I saw some flashes. So I'm not going to criticize him like everybody else has been. I mean, I being on social media, they was killing the guy for going 0 for 6 against, the best team, the champs. You got to give them the credit for who they are. Milwaukee won the ring last year, so they are the champs. But to go 0-6 and you were getting defended by the likes of Grayson Allen, that don't look good. So I need Okoro to step up a little bit more because I really like him. Let me ask you this. If you had the opportunity to get Karis LeVert, but they wanted the bird rights to Colin Sexton, are you letting Colin go? Even though Colin is out for the season, they want to try again next year with Colin and see where it goes. And then you have your guy Karis LeVert, but you got to give up Colin.
I like Colin though. A lot of people dog him.
I like Bull.
Colin.
I like Bull, but my mom always says this saying that I stick with. Ain't no friendship when it comes to business. So I can't really. This is business. This ain't personal. I'm trying to win. As fans, we want to win. And if I feel like if you could get better, then I'm all for it. I'm all for taking that step and trying to get better. Trying to get different players in there.
See you, Colin. Hope your rehab goes well.
I tell you this, as a Lakers fan, as a diehard Lakers fan, it hurt to see guys like Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball, D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson. Am I missing people? I can't think of the other ones. But it hurts to see all of Magic Johnson drafted all of those guys, Lonzo, all of those guys. And to be able to see those guys lead, that hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. But
that's a lot of names you just named off too.
All of those guys, all of those guys were drafted by Magic Johnson, and they all no longer play for the Lakers. But in that end, it turned into a ring from LeBron and AD. And I feel like if the Cavs want to get back in the playoff contention, you might have to make a move that some may not like, and trading Colin may have to be that. No, I don't. I mean, I like Bull. I really like his work ethic. I think, that dude is a beast. But if I'm trying to win some playoff series and trying to get back to raising that Larry O'Brien, might have to make that move.
You trading Wally out?
You can, yeah. I mean, yeah. What more can Collins show teams that he didn't show them last year when he led the team in scoring?
Nothing.
I mean, there's nothing that Colin can really show guys anymore. I mean, he's a baller. Is he a complete player? No, but he's a baller.
Yeah, but like you said, you play to win, and that's if you got to deal him, deal it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not committed to him long term, as from what that came out this summer as far as that deadline passing. So they're not committed to Collins. So at this point, you might as well let him go. And it kind of sucks for him not to have taken that deal too. So you can look at it more than one way. All right, we got 2 minutes left. What's your prediction for the Cavs tonight? Think they're gonna win?
Rachel, don't put me into this predicament. Oh my goodness, I hate being this guy. I'm gonna go against the grain just so that I know they don't win. I'm gonna pick the Bulls to win tonight. I think when you got a guy like Lonzo Ball who plays really good defense, and we saw it with Drew Holiday and Mike Conley, when you got a guy who plays good defense on Darius Garland, that disrupts a lot of the team. What's going on? So I think Lonzo is gonna make life hard for Darius tonight. I got the Bulls winning 109-100.
Oh, really? So the Cavs put up 100 points. So okay, I'll take the Cavs. And with that being said, I will take the Cleveland Cavaliers. Excuse me. Do I go over 100 points? I gotta do something quick. Let's go. But the Cavs haven't really been scoring 100 points though, so let's go. 90 to 80 don't work.
No, this ain't the 90s.
I know. Let's put up. I'll put up +5 on yours. 114 to
114, 105.
103. All right,
So
man.
say
We got to
Cavs
get
by
out of
11. Okay.
All right, we got to get out of here, Marshawn. But thank you. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. We are out of here. All right, man. I appreciate you. Go back to work.
No problem. All right, let me finish up. I'll catch you now. I'm going to try to come in one day next week.
Okay.
I probably won't be able to do both, but I'm going to at least try to come in one day next week.
All right, that's cool. Be good to see you.
All right.
All right, holla at you. Bye.
All right. Bye.